What's up guys, it's ABFX and you're welcome back to my channel. So guys, if you're new to this channel, kindly like and hit the subscribe button and also turn on post notifications so that you get notified anytime I drop a video. Also, if you want to join my free Telegram community, you can do that by checking the description of this video. You'll find the link to do that. So I want to do a recap of the trades I took last week, and also I'll go over the strategy that I trade for you guys to see the rationale behind the strategy, and then so how to trade the strategy. It's actually a very simple strategy that will make you a lot of money, crazy money. The strategy focuses on only three things: structure, liquidity, then your point of interest. This is a strategy that is quite very popular right now, but I wish I traded it earlier. Like, I wish I started trading the strategy like two years ago. But the thing is, even as of 2 years ago, I knew about this strategy. I in fact had started implementing it. Only that I didn't focus only on the strategy. I was just like using it like just one of my strategies I could trade, you know. But then focusing on owning the strategy, I figured out how just focusing on one thing, like one trading system, can actually change the game for you. It can actually, just boost and skyrocket your trading game, just focusing on one model. So let me share it with you guys. Let's go to AUD USD. So this is AUD USD, right? And this is what my strategy is all about. This is what my strategy is all about. Let me go to the 4-hour. So this is what my strategy is all about. Now, first of all, you want to see a liquidity sweep here. Once you see a liquidity sweep, market changes character to the downside, right? After it has changed character to the downside, it now comes back to give you an inducement. It tries to go back to probably continue going higher, but then that doesn't work out, right? So the first thing you want to see is so the first thing you want to see is this, right? Market taking liquidity, like sweeping liquidity. In this case, it swept this higher, right? So once that happens, you want to see a change of character to the opposite side. And in this case, we got a change of character to the opposite side right here. So after you've seen a change of character to the opposite side, the next thing you want to see is price come back and try to go the opposite direction, but then it doesn't give a complete pullback. You call it an incomplete pullback, and that is it right here. So this right here is the incomplete pullback. It tries to pull back, but then it wasn't complete. Then it now continues down to break structure the second time and create another low. So once you see this, it now makes the strategy kind of complete. So the next thing you're going to be waiting for is to see that price comes back to sweep this structural liquidity or this incomplete pullback. Then it continues to sell downwards. So that's just what this strategy is all about. But then it's not just as simple as I'm saying it. There are a lot of things you have to put into consideration. The thing is, what makes a lot of people not able to trade this strategy and profit from it is because it's just out there, everybody's trading it, everybody's posting it, but nobody is really telling you what you need to put into consideration for it to hold. You don't just look for this anywhere on your chart. You have to look for it at certain levels, and there are some things that you need to see that will make it that will give it a higher chance of playing out, right? So aside from this, the next way this model can also print is this. It gives you a sweep. After the sweep, right, before it changes character to the downside here, it first gives an incomplete pullback. So if it gives an incomplete pullback before it changes character, that's also fine. So it gave an incomplete pullback, then change character down here. So after you change character down here, the next thing you're waiting for is for price to come back, take out the incomplete pullback, tap into your POI. The POI is this area I've marked out with this gray rectangle, right? Tap into your POI and then it continues to sell. So this is just the strategy, right? Now, let's discuss the strategy further. I told you guys that this strategy is all about three things: structure, liquidity, and POI. So number one, what is the structure? Structure is looking at the market generally from higher time frame to lower time frame. What is the market doing? What's the trend of the market? Is the market ranging, or is it going down in a downtrend, or is it going in an uptrend, right? So for instance, the market is going in an uptrend. You only want to look for buy opportunities in an uptrend because it has a higher chance of playing out, right? So like now in this sell scenario right here, I want to see this happen in a downtrend, right? If I see this happening in a downtrend, it will make more sense for me to sell because I know this will most likely play out, right? And you're going to start getting your structure from the higher time frame. So if you're looking at a downtrend on a 5-minute chart, you know that that's something that will most likely not hold. But I'm talking of a long-term downtrend that is happening on, say, 4-hour time frame or daily time frame. So when you now see this on that kind of time frame, when you see a trend on a higher time frame, you know that this is most likely gonna play out, right? So for structure, this is something I've also marked out that has helped me. One, I said structure. Does it follow the trend? So this model that I'm saying I trade, this model that I'm showing you guys, if you want to trade it, you see it has printed on your chart. Does it follow the trend? The first thing you want to do is to check if it has followed the trend, right? So does it follow the trend? If it doesn't follow the trend, there's two things I do. One is, depending on how it printed, I either ignore it completely, or two, I just target a very, very short target. I may just target 1 to 1 or 1 to 2, right? Because I know it may just play out a bit, but then it fails. So you can either ignore it completely, or you just target 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. That is what I do. Then the next thing is liquidity. So for liquidity, you want to see that this model has, taken out liquidity first of all. That first liquidity that is taken out here, you want to first of all see that there was a very obvious liquidity sweep. You don't want a situation whereby you're now still the liquidity, market will still come and sweep you out. So you want to see a very, very obvious liquidity sweep first of all before this whole thing is valid, right? Then the next liquidity for you to bear in mind is the structural liquidity or the incomplete pullback, which is this right here. This top right here. You want to see that the incomplete pullback is close to your POI. You don't want an incomplete pullback that is far away from your POI. Let's say this incomplete pullback that I said is somewhere down here, right? It won't make sense. Like, it will most likely not hold. So you want to see an incomplete pullback that is very, very close to your POI. If you see that your model is most likely going to hold, right? So you can actually use your Fibonacci tool to check that out. If the incomplete pullback is within 50% of the range, I'm going to show you guys that in a like live chart example. So another thing is, how obvious is this liquidity, right? So you want to see this incomplete pullback to be very obvious, not just like a weak something. Let it be very, very obvious. There's a way you see this model, you know that yes, the model has printed, and not just some, something you're guessing, you're not too sure, So you want to see a very, very obvious thing playing out. So that's another one. All right, so the last thing is the POI. The POI is, in my opinion, one of the easiest things, or the easiest part of the strategy. Once you've been able to spot out the structure, you've been able to first of all spot out the model, then you're confirming to see if it is going with the structure, if the liquidity is valid. The last thing is the POI. The POI can be anything where you use it to serve as your entry. It could be an order block, or it could be a candlestick pattern, maybe an indecision candle or an engulfing candlestick. anything that can help to make a valid POI, right? You can just mark it out for your entry, and your POI should be quite close to the incomplete pullback or the liquidity before your entry, right? So that's that. Let me go to the chart now and show you guys. So as for the chart, I've already marked out some of the pairs that this model has printed. So let me show you guys. Now this is AUDJPY, and this has printed on AUDJPY. Now as you can see, AUDJPY is in a kind of downtrend, but I don't really consider this a downtrend because it has been, in my opinion, ranging, right? But then at least we know that it's in a form of downtrend because first thing first, here we got a liquidity sweep at this point, right? So when we got a liquidity sweep there, so we got a liquidity sweep here, right? After the liquidity sweep, we got a change of character. The first change of character was here. I didn't even mark that out, but let me mark it out so you see. So this is the first change of character, right? After the sweep, this right here. So that's the first change of character. Then the second one is obviously down here. So we got the first change of character here. Then price, gave us this incomplete pullback. Broke structure to the downside again. Then it came all the way right here and still came back to give a break of structure down here. So you can see the multiple break of structure to the downside, giving you a reason to believe that this is in a kind of a downtrend on this time frame. Then the next thing you want to look for is the incomplete pullback or your structural liquidity, of which I've marked out this place to be that structural liquidity. So what I'm waiting for is to see that price comes back and then takes out this liquidity, taps into this POI, and then sells to the downside. So that's what I'm looking out for on this chart. And if you look at what I've marked out to be my POI, it's actually right here. You can see like another block, but not just that, you can see a very small indecision candle there, and I've marked that out, right? So that's that for it, for this particular pair. Now if you look at this strategy, this pair, I just marked it out and I just kept it there, but it's something that may take a while before it plays out. But just to keep it down there, it's possible that we can just see price continue to sell, not necessarily coming back here. It may just continue to sell to the downside, and if that happens, fine, no wahala. So let's go to the next one, which is US oil. Similar thing printed on US oil. And as for this one, now I may take this or I may just leave it, you get, because what I'm not too comfortable with this particular setup is the liquidity sweep. So if we go to a lower time frame, this is on the daily. All right, so now first of all, what is making this thing valid for me structure wise? This trade is going alongside with the trend, right? You see how US oil has been on a bearish trend for a long time, and this trade I'm looking to short, right? So this is one confluence that makes this trade valid for me, the trend to the downside, right? Then the next thing though, we have the liquidity sweep. Now this is the liquidity sweep I saw right here, but then I'm not too comfortable with this liquidity sweep, and this is one of the reasons why I may not take the trade. But depending on what plays out here moving into next week, I may still take this trade. So this is the liquidity sweep, right? This is the liquidity sweep. So now you can see that immediately after price took out this high here, it gave us a strong push to the downside. Before it broke structure, you see that it gave an incomplete pullback, creating an inducement level or a liquidity for us to come and use as our entry. So after it created this inducement or this incomplete pullback, it's sold off to the downside with force. So after this now, price still came back, gave another incomplete pullback and sold and created another low right here, right? So after it has created this low right here, the next thing I'm looking for is to see that price comes back to this high and taps into this other block right here, and then continues to sell, continues to follow the trend. So that's one thing I'm looking for. So now what will make this setup more valid for me, if price can come here and then gives us another sell, that will create more incomplete pullbacks or create more liquidity for price to come and sweep and sell off. So that's something I would love to see on US oil for me to take this trade, right? So this is another example of this setup, right? So let's go to the next one, CAD CHF. Similar stuff on CAD CHF. So as for CAD CHF, what do you see? CAD CHF is actually very, very, very obvious, and it makes sense to a large extent, and I would really love to jump on this one. So as for CAD CHF, you see the liquidity sweep right here. You see the liquidity sweep right here, right? So this is the liquidity sweep here. After the liquidity sweep, what then happened? You see the very huge sell-off to the downside. After the sell-off that broke structure, to the downside, what then happened? We saw price come back to create multiple areas of liquidity, of inducement, of incomplete pullbacks, whatever you want to call it. So now, this makes this POI valid and makes it more likely to play out. So the next thing we want to see is for price. Anything that brings price back to this high, that takes out this place and continues selling down, this is what the model is all about. This is the setup we want to see, right? So that is it for CAD CHF. And CAD CHF, I think if you check the higher time frame, it actually follows the trend. Let's see what the higher time frame says. Yeah, so to a large extent, we've been having a bearish trend on the daily, right? So this actually makes sense for us to be able to catch this sell. So the checklist again, first you want to see an obvious sweep of liquidity, which we've seen here. The next, you want to see a break of structure to the downside, to the opposite side, or a change of character, which we've seen here. The next, you want to see an incomplete pullback, which we have seen here. It has even given us double top, which is also very, very good. And then the next thing now is for you to just wait for price to come back into your POI, and then you sell from there. So ideally, if I want to take this trade, I'm just going to set my sell limit like this. So this is how I'm going to trade this. I'll just put my limit order here, and then my stop loss will just be slightly above this high, and then I'll target below. I'll just target like at most 1 to 4, 1 to 3. All right, and that will just be it. So this is the trade I'm looking out for. Now let's go to Euro JPY. Euro JPY is one trade that I actually would love to take, because it seems to be a very high probability trade for me. So first of all, on the higher time frame, this is a 4-hour time frame. It's in a range. You can't see that this is in a downtrend or an uptrend, right? Now the next thing you will notice is price is currently at a discounted level. So one of the things that you will also look out for in this strategy is to check whether price is at a discounted or at a premium level. And how do you do that? Just draw your fib tool from the lows to the high like this. That's it, right? So once you just draw your fib like this, it tells you where price is. Right now, you see that price is below, at the lower part of the fib. That means it's at the discounted area. So you want to only buy when it's discount, is the price is at the discounted area, while you sell when price is at the premium, right? So first of all, price is in a range, fine, but then price is at the discounted area of the range, and then you can also see price is bouncing off a support, right? If we are going to look at support and resistance, right, you can see that price is bouncing off a support. Let me draw the support. So this is a support that has been playing out for a while right now. So you can see the first touch here, the second here, and this is the third where price is currently at. So this is another reason why I'm looking to take this trade. Now, going into the model, what do you see? If we go down to the 30-minute time frame, what do you see? Price is currently at a support, remember. Then we now see that price gave us a sweep of the low here. After it swept the low here, it changed character to the upside. Changed character to the upside here, and then came down and gave us structural liquidity or inducement or incomplete pullback, right? So swept the lows here, changed character here, came back, gave us very lovely incomplete pullbacks, and then moved to the upside again. So the next thing we're looking forward to is to see price come back, take out this liquidity here, and then buy. So this is one trade that I'm going to set immediately the market opens on Monday. I'm going to set my buy limit at this point and target the top side here. So with this many examples, I hope this model, this system makes sense to you. I hope you get value from this video. If you do get value from this video, don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications for more. And then if you want to follow me to take these trades, like you want to know when I'm placing these trades and all, you can check the description of this video for my free Telegram community link. So cheers guys, I'll see you in the next one. I don't want this video to be too long, but it's already long. So we'll catch up in the next video.